And that came off of, again, on offense, Roldiz and Ajax double committed on a 50-50 in the attacking third. And that forced a clear from NRG. And then United had to play defense like that. And then they get in panicky situations. These aren't issues that United didn't have last season. They struggled on defense with just being able to slow down and understand what's happening on the pitch. They panic too much.
And NRG, they did the opposite of panic. They had a tough game one. They looked to be in the driver's seat, but United fought back, shut them out 2-0. But since then, it has been a 7-goal unanswered streak for NRG. United getting shut out 2 games in a row. Now, with their final life in the series on the line, they're going to have to figure something out. And on defense, things are going to have to improve. Absolutely have to improve, whether it's communication or mainly execution. Being able to execute the touches that you're meaning to. You know that Hoxer didn't want to pass that off his back wall. They just need to clean that up.
When you're on defense, when you're on offense.
EU defense.
Yeah, EU defense. Oof. When you're on EU United offense, it looks good. Like this team has good ideas when they do get on offense, but they kind of trip themselves up. They outplay themselves on offense, and they end up giving up the ball. And if you can shore this up, and we've pointed it out, we've seen it in the series. NRG are not infallible. They make mistakes, and you even punish those mistakes. You took the first game of this set. So we'll see if they can turn their fortunes around. But right now, NRG fully in the driver's seat, and I'm not sure there's anyone else in the car. Shot, nothing, and Roldiz tries to keep it going. Huge opportunity missed.
That was a tough angle for Hoxer. He has to come in quickly, and he has to make the shot on target from a relatively awkward angle, but it was open. The net was wide open. That is a 1-0 opportunity. That one almost bounced in. Swings, but they miss.
And I think that could have been a better shot from Hoxer. He ended up hitting it on his wheel instead of his bumper, and so it just gimped the shot. And NRG taking the ball away again. Ajax, his shot light, turned away by Garrett G. It was a tight rotation on defense. Turbo, another challenge. No boost available for him. Steal E United's ball. Pass cut off again. Hoxer in the corner. Ajax in midfield. He's got Roldiz behind him. How do E United approach? Well, Garrett G steals the ball away. Roldiz taking a good look at the challenge.
Good
and then
speed.
Hoxer as well.
United looking much better at the start of this game, having multiple chances, getting downfield, keeping NRG in the net, getting demos, setting up shots. They could easily be ahead already in this game. They're not letting it affect them right now. They're not giving up.
Ooh, good carry there from Justin. He came across the box, very dangerous, and it was the opposition was closing in, but Justin stayed right behind that ball. Hoxer got one more to beat, pops up, but just can't keep control. Roldiz losing the touch to Garrett, but it's Ajax's ball. E United, this is about how far the offense has gotten for E United, and they're headed back the other way.
But even on that play, Hoxer almost made magic happen.
Oh, Justin had the look. He had a free net with both E United players caught in the corner, and it's a goal.
And Justin does a solo play all by himself. He saw Hoxer attempt one. He says, let me show you how it's done. Takes it down the field. Beats out the entirety of E United. And just like that, despite all the pressure and all the chances that E United has had so far, Justin gets the first goal for NRG.
And even Hoxer, who's been a standout star player for E United, on a couple of carries that he's had, he's just not had the same impact in this series as he's had in previous ones. Here he is up high off the ceiling. He did find the shot, but Justin followed him the whole way. Bumped out of the way was Garrett. Roldiz and Justin and Garrett, everybody real close on that net, almost got dunked.
Scary moment. Justin opted to dribble that along the goal line. And where you're in danger of getting dunked, and if you get dunked, it's most likely going to be a goal. But he made it work.
Now NRG trying to keep it close in midfield. Turbo gets back to his own touch in midfield. Maybe waiting for that touch from Justin where E United, either way, they're still stuck in the blue half. Roldiz, a little bit of space. He's got 12 boost and a dream. His dream is Ajax clearing that ball away so he can pick up some more. Ajax in front, pass out to Hoxer. Hoxer pops it over another. Despite the woes, E United are only down by 1. But nothing materializes. Midfield, one here by Ajax. Can he get something going? Another touch, he's by another. Trying to get in the way of somebody. But NRG weather the storm. Hoxer up against Justin, fighting for possession. Roldes now in the corner. He's got 2 available players, and he got it up against the backboard. Turbo with the clear. Potential turn for Hoxer. Turbo got in his face. Garrett's in the way. Roldes can't get back to his own touch. NRG making life real difficult for E United. Just closing the gap. It's been a chokehold. Quick pass to Roldes, but the light touch will be Justin's to carry. Oh, and it's open. Ajax, can he get back to it? He cannot. Insurance with 25 seconds remaining, all but secures a victory for NRG.
And again, Justin takes it by the defense, baits in Hoxer, and at the last moment, flings it by all the way downfield. Justin making it happen for NRG, trying to just close out the series once and for all.
E United, it started off good. It looks good for E United. And then NRG, well, hang on a second. Ajax will put one in off the back wall. Some time left for E United. There is a sign of life.
Turbo had jumped at the same ball Garrett did. Garrett went for the pass that got cut off. And because Turbo had jumped, he wasn't in position to handle that incoming hit. Just like that, we're into it. 1 goal game, just under 15 seconds left.
Ooh, Hoxer back to Ajax. Hoxer had won that first 50 on the kickoff. And that challenge looked good. Ajax, he's got a look and he misses the ball. Roldes racing towards the corner. It'll be cleared by Garrett, and Hoxer has one chance to keep this ball in the air. And now Roldes can't find it. The ball touches the ground. NRG take a 3-1 victory in the series.
And they sailed in those final 3 games. It got close in that last second. E United, they brought it in game 4. But their shooting just wasn't there. The accuracy wasn't there. Hoxer struggled this series. He'll think back to that open net that he wasn't able to hit. It was a tough shot, but it was very makeable, especially for somebody of his ability. And then also that backboard hit where he gave up the goal. He's going to remember that one. So a tough series all around for E United. Not enough to take down NRG, who has just been chugging along.
I think E United just, again, it's defensive issues, struggles to get out of their own box when they're just being pressured so hard. I think it's part of what killed them in their series last week, so against Ghost. Look, this team made the World Championship last season, and it's not looking good. They have a lot to figure out. You have another hard matchup gone. You got more season to figure it out. Can United figure things out? We got 2 more series left to go today in North America. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
At CDW, we get you want happy, productive employees.
That's why we've made our office pet-friendly. Maybe a little too pet-friendly.
Well, CDW can design a mobility solution with light, powerful devices from Lenovo to make your people more productive in or out of the office.
Anyone have any questions before we go?
That's great. I really need to get out of here. Snake people are freaking me out.
Hey, Cheryl, give a sec.
For workplace productivity, you need Lenovo and IT Orchestration by CDW. People who get it.
We both know there are Nazis here in America.
We would bring God's justice to them.
How did Nazis get into the States?
They were brought here.
This is the greatest mass conspiracy in our nation's history.
This is bigger than anyone realizes.
NRG with the victory over E United. They take a 3-1 win to continue to show why they were the Season 8 World Champions. Welcome back to North American Week 3. Back to the desk, I'm Leaf alongside Gibbs and Corelli. And we saw mostly what we expected. And in all honesty, though, I'm a little disappointed in United because, again, I was starting to jump on this train of believing this team. They made it to Worlds. They were looking pretty good, but something's just falling apart now at this point. Carl, I don't know if you know what I mean. So you look like you want
to be fair, they played NRG, right?
Fair.
Let's not count them out yet for the entire season. But game 1 was good. They got some counterattacks and scored the goals. But I think game 2 was the epitome of the series where I don't think the ball was on the other side of the field at all. The energy just dominated the field of play. But the best part is, even when United's like, all right, maybe we'll just try and take it a little slow throughout our corners. Then they're like, let's just do a double demo and clear out all of United. Then it's an easy goal. Then Turbo tries to score and his teammates take it away from him. But energy, just dominant throughout.
Some of these teams are able to take a game off energy, and then they figure it out. It takes them a game to get into the series maybe, but again, anyone going up against NRG for the most part, from what we've seen so far, they struggled. NRG have looked very strong. The Sonics really put up the best fight, but that was week 1 where we got our first look at NRG.
And with the NRG now, it's like, do we feel like they're back to form? I mean, at the beginning, Garrett was saying that they were feeling a little rough.
No.
They look pretty clean.
They look good. I don't think they're in perfect form. No,
I think they're looking pretty solid.
No, I think they look. I think they look good, as in, obviously they're winning their series and they're taking care of business at the end of the day. But there are sometimes, like I said, some of these teams are taking games off them. The Sonic series was close, and for NRG, I feel like there's a higher standard that I think they hold themselves to, and I don't know if they're hitting it every single game.
Now, to be fair, with Sonics, they take down a space station team that was supposed to be number 2, and then G2 just played Flight. And they lost the game as well. Yeah. So I think no one's perfect.
Sure.
I think energy is the closest that we have.
It happens, but at the end of the day, you still jump back to the old big three. Now it's seeming a little different, but the old reliables, I'll call them now. They may lose a game, but they're going to win the series. Right. But let's jump over now to check in on our Player of the Day nominees. We've had a few more games since the last time we looked at the tower here. And a couple new names have jumped up there, Rizzo and Turbo Pulse.
Yeah, we're talking about Turbo. I don't want to talk about Rizzo anymore. Turbo Pulse, you can't take away his Player of the Week. Like, Energy took a lot of goals away from him, his teammates, but Turbo, he's still up there for Player of the Week, playing really well on the offensive side of the field throughout this entire season. But yes, Rizzo, what a performance from him. Those back-to-back dribble plays, and just all-around solid play.
Yeah, I mean, he looks fantastic in his series. Shock is up there again. I mean, I feel like that guy has a good week every single week, or at least through 3 weeks now. Yeah. He's looked good 3 out of 3, so it's exciting to see. We don't get to see Rizzo up there too often, and I think it's well-deserved here today to at least be on the board because he's looked the best he has in a long time on G2.
Well, this is the thing. Just looking back at all the Player of the Day nominees throughout the seasons, there are a lot of familiar faces that come up there. So when, Shock is consistently seeing his name up on the board with the other players, he's probably got to start feeling really good. Like, I'm up there with Rizzo and Turbo now.
Yeah, this is great. Just keep riding that wave. Just keep that momentum up. It seems like they're in high spirits. They have a team house as well, so those high spirits will compound on top of another because they're just hanging out, having a good time. Like, this is like a 2-month vacation, it feels like, because of how well it's going.
I think I got to shout out to Reynolds then, because I think he's absolutely right when he's like, the only way Rizzo can play good is on land, and now he's on a team with the land. He's right, but it's not for his benefit, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, speaking of Reynolds, let's jump and talk about his team, because his team is playing next. Pittsburgh Knights versus Ghost Gaming. The Knights made a switch recently, so did Ghost Gaming. And for me, the biggest thing in this matchup, I think, really is these new thirds in here with Mist moving on to Ghost Gaming and AJ on to Pittsburgh Knight. Who is going to fall into place quicker? And it seems like Mist has found his footing a little quicker than AJ has.
Absolutely. Mist is playing really well on this team. He doesn't have to do a ton. Like, I feel like he does play that third-man cleanup role, but he's getting a lot of those offensive touches because of Atomic. Because Atomic is doing so well being that playmaker, then it just leaves the door wide open for easy shots for Mist, and he's capitalizing on it.
And I said it last week. I'm going to say it again this week. I'm worried for the Knights. They have not looked good. G2 picked them apart. They're outshot by 24. Reynolds talked about how he was playing the most defense he felt like he was playing the most defense he ever has, and it was true. He was forced to make 13 saves throughout the series. He led his team in saves, and G2 controlled the boost game. I think the stat was G2 picked up 162 more small boost pads than Pittsburgh Knights throughout the series.
They don't know.
That's a lot of boosts.
I'm telling you, and this happened all last season. I don't think they know where the small boost pads are on the field for Pittsburgh Knights. They got to figure that out. But 1.2 goals per game right now for Pittsburgh Knights. When you bring in AJ, who's supposed to be another offensive threat to this team,
Yeah.
and you're not putting the goals in, that's a major, major problem.
Well, if you're sacrificing, you mentioned before, if you're sacrificing Gyro to off that offense, you really have to make sure you're making up for that and then some as well.
And I feel like it's Reynolds and AJ, they will go for the same plays and try and make that blockbuster play where they're both in the air.
Yeah.
The problem is, those only work 10% of the time, and the other 10% or the other 90%, all it is a double commit, and now Gyro's alone on defense, and that's a major problem.
Will missed overtake AJ's. AJ tries to find a spot on the Knights. Let us know online on Twitter at @RLESports, hashtag RLCS9. It is now time for our second to last match. Let's get to the commentator booth.
Knights versus Ghost, and we'll see Ghost kind of try to build on their win streak from last week as they were able to take down United. Knights still looking for that same formidable offensive power we've seen them build in Season 8. Can they do it here? Has their new teammate AJ found his spot, Mr. Jeeves?
For me, no. AJ's still looking a little wishy-washy over on the Knights side of things. I like Ghost. You know, I was sitting there on the desk last week. I'm like, I like Mist as the third man. I know he wants to play more offense, but I don't see any reason that Ghost is really going to have too much of a problem here versus the Knights. I think they've really got the tools, believe it or not, and that feels pretty weird for me to say, but at the end of the day, the Knights have just completely swapped how they approach the offense, and I just don't think it's going to work versus Ghost.
We'll see. I liked Mist on offense last week. He had one particular solo play that I think was my highlight moment of that United Ghost match, and what was kind of otherwise a lackluster, slow-moving series. But we'll see if he brings it back out here today, and what do the Pittsburgh Knights bring to the field here in Week 3? We've got Pittsburgh in the orange, Ghost Gaming in the blue, a best-of-5 to get a win here. In Season 9, a pass from Gyro is high. And Reynolds will not have a follow-up, but here comes AJ. He puts it off the ceiling and back down, and he traps it against the defense. That's the first goal in 12 seconds.
Well, leave it for AJ to shut me up immediately. Great bump from Reynolds to get Aleutian off the ball, and Mist just can't win the challenge because AJ has a great read on where that play is headed. And you know what? Fine. You look great, AJ. I take it back.
We figured it all out. 12 seconds later, we're good. Now Gyro on the kickoff, looking for the kickoff goal. Pitches it against Atomic, and Reynolds will look to follow it up. He's got a full tank to work with, but Atomic will get it off of his hood, and AJ tries to stall things out of the midfield. A little bit low on boost, but he traps it and gives it back to Gyro. And now Reynolds to the edge. Being trailed. Atomic over the top.
Great read on where that play is headed. And you know what? Fine. You look great, AJ. I take it back.
We figured it all out. 12 seconds later, we're good. Now Gyro on the kickoff, looking for the kickoff goal. Pitches it against Atomic, and Reynolds will look to follow it up. He's got a full tank to work with, but Atomic will get it off of his hood, and AJ tries to stall things out of the midfield. A little bit low on boost, but he traps it and gives it back to Gyro. And now Reynolds to the edge. Being trailed. In the corner. Top of Mist gets it over two, and Aleutian's got to buy time. Gets it nice and high, and there's no airborne offense for the Knights as they'll just lurk at midfield. Now Atomic out of this corner, no boost to work with. Reynolds gets it past him and Mist back to midfield. AJ with a quick 180, sets it up.
So tell me, is it
Dang, this thing laggy, bro.
play from Atomic. Do they beat AJ? Wow!
What a shot. The shooting has just been absolutely spectacular in this game.
The catch from Atomic off the wall and the recovery to get out into the middle, and then Leauge with just enough around. That is just, oh man.
Choice. Well done.
Top shelf.
Nice cut of meat. And Leauge massively double commit here on the following kickoff, and Reynolds might be about to get this lead right back for his team. Looking for a goal. He gets tangled up, but he still makes the save, and Leauge will come in for the clear. Ghost will dodge that one. The mistake won't be punished. But now Leauge looking to pass to Mist. Mist falls back, respecting Reynolds' interception. And now Gyro with a pass out. Reynolds with the transition. Can he find the shot? Ooh. But Atomic gets all of that one, and Mist is deep in enemy territory once more. I do like the offensive positioning from Ghost. They are constantly creating pressure even when the ball's in their own half.
Well, now they're in trouble, and great job from Atomic. Leauge diving back, making the save as well. So, yes, the offensive positioning is good for Ghost, but it does leave the door open if the counterattack is executed.
Now that if the retreating D stays that strong, they'll be just fine. We're tied up here with 1:57 left to go. Atomic passes to Leauge, beats one player, gains control. Ajax will muscle it off of him, and now Gyro into the corner. Reynolds lurking in the front of the box. Now comes in. Reynolds pass right back down. Dangerous, but Leauge's got it clear. Reynolds on the retreat. Struggling to get all four wheels on the ground. Now Leauge back to Atomic. Intercepted by Gyro. Missed in the backfield here. He's giving a lot of space, but he was called off by Atomic. And now Reynolds with a shot, a bump onto Mist, and it's in. Reynolds shooting well. He's got 2 in this game, and the Knights have the lead.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because Mist was thinking about going for. Decided to allow Atomic to go for it, and unfortunately, Mist just had to contend with Gyro, and that's a classic Knights move right there. Hit the ball off the side, go get in the face, and see if they make a mistake.
It's one of the simplest strategies in Rocket League, and the Knights perform it so well. 1:25 on the clock. The Knights have had a precarious 1-goal lead for much of this game. And Ghost has always found a way to tie it back up so far. They've got 1 minute and 15 left to work with. Let's see what they do. It's Gyro to AJ. The clear in transition. This transition also functions as a shot. Mist will get the save, but Reynolds moves up. Leauge able to create enough chaos to get it off him, but this pass in the midfield, actually Atomic reaches it. AJ's got to play for position here.
Oh, they're going to give him the ball.
They're just letting them take the shots. Each shot from Knights is going wide on the first attempt. So Mist will try to trap this one, but it's back into the corner as we are into that final minute. Leauge looking for the pass down to Atomic. Just sets him up, and he rolls out the box. The trap from the defense is just good enough. The threat's still on here. Mist tries, but he doesn't get it in. Atomic back in. Leauge's there. 2 players up. It's off the crossbar and out. Atomic for the 4th attempt. The pass from is blocked by AJ, and Gyro will put it out behind Leauge. 24 seconds left, and man, that hurts for Ghost.
Yeah, Leauge's going to be kicking himself, but they're not done yet. They still can have another opportunity if they find it clear here.
Atomic out to Leauge, looking for the shot, actually just lets it roll, and it nearly goes in. Gyro gets it off the post, and Reynolds finds a clear. Atomic's touch is just too strong and to the side. With 5 seconds left, one last attempt here. Mist on the backboard. Here he comes for the tie, but Reynolds will put it down, well positioned on the top of the goal. Knights are able to stave off overtime.
Nice job, defense, for the Knights. That was a tough couple of sequences to handle. They really were just... They had their backs against the wall, and they handled it with about as much grace as you could ask for, considering the circumstances.
This is what happens when you manage to get saves and not clears.
Yeah, exactly.
It's constantly, like, you can't put it in the goal, but my goodness, it's right here the whole time. But this was the winning goal, the go-ahead goal from Knights, and it was all about Gyro there up front.
Yeah, real nice job from Gyro. Again, he forces Atomic to punch that ball off the sidewall and knows he's just got to get right in Mist's face. And it is that little bit of interference that makes the difference. So really well done from the Knights to win game 1, and AJ with a pretty solid game as well.
I think if you rewind that play a little bit more, Mist was in position to challenge the ball, but then was called off clearly by his teammate. And I think that honestly was the opening that gave Gyro this opportunity. Like, Mist is slow right now. He's back. He's kind of broken rotation.
He's forced into defense.
And he's in a very precarious spot where I can easily bump a player, and I know that the third teammate rotating in is going to think, oh, this is the defender. I'm going to move up a little bit. That created that opening. Had Mist just kept the normal rotation going, had his teammates not called him off, I think we might have had overtime.
Because there's also a little bit of risk reward reward involved with that. Mist can go for it, definitely. There's nothing wrong with going for it. But if you go for that in that situation, because you have to remember, Atomic came in a couple seconds later after Mist decided not to go for it.
Yeah.
So if Mist goes for that and he doesn't win the ball, then they're definitely in trouble.
Especially if they're double queued in there and Atomic's not rotating. So
both schools of thought are correct. It's just which one do you prefer to take as a team?
This one definitely played into the Knights' preferred play style.
Yes.
So Knights will take game number 1, but Ghost will look to bounce back in game 2. They showed plenty of signs of offense and an ability to handle the Knights in their own half.
And really the only reason we weren't in overtime is because Leauge missed a shot.
Atomic. Yeah, JJ's got a block. Now AJ back down. Gyro off the wall towards the goal. This is an open net that should just go all the way in. It will. Reynolds actually finishes it off as well. All the defenders wide out of the box.
Yeah, there's one challenge in the corner. Mist gets beat in the midfield, and the other guy is sitting on the far end of the field. So someone caught too far forward somewhere. If you ask me, it's probably Mist, who just didn't give a little bit of space after that ball popped out. And Reynolds makes the perfect read off the backboard bounce.
We were talking earlier about Mist wanting to be more of an offensive player. The team that didn't allow him to play offense was this one right here, the Knights. Reynolds and Gyro kept all of the flashy plays to themselves. Mist just held it on the back line. He would love to be the star player in this matchup right here. Prove to the team that he was kicked off of, you should have held on to me.
Well, the problem with that is you've got a couple of great playmakers already. Gyro on a dribble, denied.
Momentary 2v2 as the demolition goes both ways. Nice play from Mist, flicks one, and Atomic looks for the shot and puts it in. It was all set up by Mist and Atomic with a wonderful touch.
Now they make the save. Mist works the 1v1 on AJ. Perfect flick. Riddles is beat as well. And Atomic, ooh, that's money.
Flicking the player that replaced you. Be like, yeah, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have gotten bit by my own flick. Come on, you're not good. Get off my team.
You're there for the spite, I see.
That's right. Gyro up in this corner, plays it underneath one. As Ghosts do tie it right back up. They were so good at that in game number 1.
Oh, Atomic, you monster.
With the here's the shot from Illusion. Gyro's got the save, and out to Reynolds. Can they find this quick transition? As Ghost sent so much on that play, but missed in the corner, had all the space in the world, got the first touch, and now Reynolds with a pass back to AJ. The shot up. Oh no! Mist actually touches it back in. You can't fault him for being in the air, but it still hurts.
Yeah, it's own goal, but Reynolds, that is the way to go and get it and take that away from the defense, because that was just a free ball. AJ kind of just lofted that towards Ghost, and boy, were they going to bang that back up the pitch.
3:19 on the clock, and the Knights get an ugly one. But it's set up by a beautiful pass.
Yeah.
Here comes Mist. Flip reset to work with. Doesn't manage to use it. Illusion, the pass in to Atomic. Nice touch, but the shot is high.
Oh, he bumped him.
Illusion gets a little bit knocked loose. Mist with lots of space again. Going for the tying goal again. The goalie's getting a little bit confused, and Atomic sees the opening, slams it home. Tie game.
Okay, this is two parts. One, it goes back to that bump. It keeps Ghost in possession of the ball, and then Mist. That's a beautiful job of cradling that ball and not pinching it across, but the read from Atomic to stick with that. That's a real three-man effort to get that one through.
Beautiful play. Ghosts keep themselves in this game. Dropped game number 1, but just barely. They've managed to tie it up multiple times in these first 2 games, but I believe yet to lead.
Correct.
So we'll see. They've got to find a way to get out in front and hold it. Illusion into the corner. Atomic tries to close the gap, but there's Reynolds.
Miscommunication.
Atomic tries. Gyro sends it through. This one neutral in the mid. Here comes AJ, but Atomic gets there first. Off to the corner. AJ's got to play for control here. Goes for the fake. Illusion doesn't bite. Now Atomic onto the backboard. Mist already airborne, but Reynolds will be there first. Here comes the transition. Gyro actually back to the midfield, but he and AJ right on top of each other. Gyro demolished that. Maybe actually helps the Knights out more than it relieves pressure, because here comes Gyro off that respawn. Nice clean rotation now established. And Atomic not able to get control. Mists his touches back into the corner. Here comes Reynolds. Gyro bails as AJ comes in to try and take over. See if he can set up Gyro in the mid again.
Just control this ball if you're Atomic. There you go. Just force that ball into a challenge and stick this one in the corner, because...
Oh, Atomic second guessing things, but AJ with the backflip in the midfield just tries to stall out play, and Reynolds quickly turns. Tight positioning here from the Knights as Reynolds now looks for the bump on the Mist, and it's gonna go in. The BM. Oh my goodness, they've got the lead back.
Now that is some beautiful mind games. Reynolds has all the boost in the world and then just goes straight for Mist. And you can't blame Mist. Mist took everything in stride. He did everything right. He saw the air dribble coming, was like, all right, he's keeping it high, he's going towards the backboard, and then as soon as the perfect moment to realize exactly what was happening was there, it was too late.
Absolute brutality as former teammates clash on the crossbar. Here comes Gyro with the pass to AJ, keeping it close, a nice tight rotation. Atomic's touches behind Gyro. This should open up space. Illusion now trying to set up Atomic. Reynolds now plays it to the corner. Illusion, nice power. And a miss from AJ, but Mist was not ready for that missed touch. 1:10 left to go. Same scoreline as game number 1 with about the same amount of time. Ghost had so many opportunities that were blocked at the goal line. They've got to find a way to get into the Knights' half and keep that pressure on and put one into the back of the net this time.
Oh, what a setup.
They made an AJ, but Gyro quickly closes that gap. Illusion's not able to push this one into the offense. 45 seconds left. AJ to the far side. Mist back in. AJ. The ball's slow enough. Mist going to look for the solo plays, but AJ shuts him down once more.
Great bump.
Atomic off the respawn, comes back in. Reynolds with a nice long clear. The long ones burn so much time. The Knights have proven they're able to stop it on the goal line in crunch time. The tight positioning from Illusion will give them an opportunity. Here comes Atomic. Reynolds in the backfield should have this, but actually misses Gyro in space. Here comes Mist for the tie. Could not put it in. 13 seconds left. Ghost with opportunities, but not able to make any of them work. One last option they'll have as Atomic gets one touch, sets it to Illusion, now comes back at himself, beats Reynolds, back down in, a demolition on the AJ and goal, could open it, missed airborne, Reynolds is there first, and it's touched back to the corner. Atomic doesn't have any boost, he's just got to keep it alive, onto the backboard, and straight to Gyro, who slams it to the ground. Knights win 2 in a row.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, did that feel not like the exact same thing that happened at the end of game 1? I mean, Ghosts get a beautiful shot towards the net to tie it up, and they just shank it.
Same scoreline as well. Very symmetrical games.
Same everything. I mean, Ghosts are doing a great job working their way back from behind, but tough break. I mean, they got a lucky missed read on defense, and it pinged right down, and just coming through, Mist just punched it high.
Mist definitely trying with all of his effort here, but my goodness. Reynolds having a standout game, 100% goal participation, sets this one up.
It's
goes
brilliant.
For the selfless play and also just a guarantee. He doesn't even, Gyro doesn't have to touch that ball. That is entirely a Reynolds goal.
Yeah, like Mist has absolutely no chance because Mist did such a great job sticking with that ball and following that trajectory that it just looks like there's an extra touch coming for so long. And as soon as you realize, hang on a minute, now he can't hit it anymore. Now he's right on top of you, and then you just get blasted into your net.
And Reynolds, like, he's like, what tools do I have here? I have a full tank of boost. Let's use all of it.
Yeah.
All I got to do is get rid of this goalie, and then we score. We win the game.
And that's actually set up because of a fantastic first touch. If you get a first touch that's a little too hard or too soft, then you generally give yourself fewer options. And so it's that perfect liftoff in that perfect height that gives him all the space to do whatever.
Not too fast.
Exactly.
He maintains control. Mist has to read what he's going to do, and by the time he figured out what was happening, it was too late. The ball was just going to drop on in. So we go into game 3, Knights with a 2-game lead. Ghosts have made it quite exciting. It's been a wonderful series, but have yet to close out a game and still yet to lead in the series. They've managed to tie it up over and over again. They give themselves these chances. They have not been able to put in more than the Knights have in a 5-minute period.
And boy, do I stand corrected for thinking that the Knights offense really wouldn't have much success here against the Knights or the Ghost defense.
As they come back to the midfield, this touch from Mist. His team not in position to really make use of it, but here comes a shot to the far side. Illusion's play just a bit wide and defended. Now Mist back in the box, and Mist has switched cars. Off the Dominus, onto the Octane, and it works immediately as he gets a shot and the lead for Ghost.
So first, it's the dish from Atomic to Mist. I mean, everyone would expect Atomic either double tap or man just pop that one straight towards the goal, but no, cut that one down, throw the defense off the angle, and Mist just nailed it.
Yeah, Atomic also switching to the Fennec here, so a bit of a mojo change for Ghost. We'll see if it works so far. They've done something that they struggled with the whole series, but AJ with the absolute just monster of a shot, just a bit high, and the follow from Gyro is good. The tie immediately from the Knights. This clear is insane.
Oh, yeah, it's a boomer of a clear. Atomic thought he was going to be able to get up to it and realized a little too late that it was never going to happen. And he tried to make that read off the backboard on the bounce, but he only had about 6 boost at that point and just didn't have enough. So his initial read was off, and that threw off his ability to actually make the play when it counted.
The long-range artillery tie the game, and the Ghosts had finally established their first lead. A demolition on the miss might be enough to give it right back to the Knights. No, but Leauge comes in from the side and makes the save. Now Reynolds to try and keep this pressure on, but Mist will manage to make contact. Gyro with the trap, the pass back, but no one's there for it. Now Leauge picks up control, trying to dribble 1, now 2. AJ's got it off of his hood, and Atomic with an adjustment. Not sure what he was planning there, and AJ manages to get it across midfield line. Atomic will gain control, but Gyro on the respawns right there to slam it into the Ghost corner.
Just a weird hiccup in the midfield from Ghost, and now Reynolds is asking for help.
AJ onto the backboard. Can anybody get there in time? Leauge is really not in a position to block, but there was no one there shooting. AJ managed to muscle it through the front line, but Leauge adjusts well, and now in a 1v1. Leauge versus Reynolds. He's going to look for help, but Reynolds immediately tackles, and it goes the entire length of the field back into the Ghost defense.
Poor execution from Leauge. Had the dribble, didn't execute the flip, and the pass out across, it kind of just rolled off his car.
Reynolds with a shot from midfield. It's just wide. AJ now back into the corner. Mist puts it up. Reynolds coming through the air. Mist now trying to connect with Atomic on the long field counterattack. It's just high, and Gyro will break it up. Leauge back down and in. And AJ trying to move forward. Atomic picked it up and lost control as he hit the ground. Approaching halftime, 1 apiece. The slowest game we've seen from these two teams so far, but still an exciting one as Gyro will find a clear.
Ghost, you could see that hard cross off of, I believe it was Mist, just blasted him towards the wall. They immediately ran away thinking that the monster clear was coming out of the Knights half. A lot of respect of the midfield defense for both these teams.
Leauge with a carry, but doesn't turn into anything as we are now with 2 minutes left tied up. Gyro's looking for Leauge on the back line, gets him bumped out, but more players have moved in and the ball didn't even cross into the box. There won't be any threat here from the Knights. But both Mist and Leauge, miscommunication on the wall here. They do not get punished for it, but still not the sort of play you want to see from a team that's playing at this level.
It's happened with Mist and Atomic, and now Mist and Leauge.
139. AJ through past 1. Leauge in the midfield trying to stop it out. Mist back up on the wall. He's got Atomic in this midfield, but Reynolds still just tackling. The Ghosts have not found an answer for this just drive straight at you and flip into the ball defense. The Knights have been playing in the midfield.
It is good. That approach to defense does force you to show your hand on the way out.
Gyro puts it. Reynolds needs to quickly hit the brakes as here comes Leauge, but Reynolds just drives at it, manages to get a wheel onto it, and block the shot. Now Gyro off to the side. Atomic looking to set up Leauge. 55 seconds left. Atomic dropping it down, and Reynolds. Oh, they both miss! 53 seconds left. The Ghosts managed to find a way through and get another lead.
Atomic again making wizardry happen above the goal line. A lot of success going right towards that backboard. Able to find the gaps in the defense a couple times in this series now for Ghost, and they get a lead.
53 seconds left. How do the Knights play? Down 1 with limited time. We've seen Ghost try to do it twice and come up short both times with good opportunities. Can the Knights make it work and tie the game and send us to overtime? Leauge, the pass out to Atomic, but Reynolds is there. Atomic just a little bit slow, but managed to still get his wheels onto it before being bumped off and now missed into the corner. Leauge trying to advance, but Atomic fully rotating. It'll be Atomic who moves in first.
And again,
here comes Leauge. This shot just barely high. Excellent pressure from Ghost. And now 2 players in the air. Gyro's got him beat. Reynolds is up for it too, up against Atomic, but he's got it all the way back. Missed. Couldn't he find the shot or the pass back to Leauge? The counterattack. They do not find the goal. With 10 seconds left, though, the pressure might be enough. Reynolds to the midfield. Atomic high and Gyro, the pass back down. Here comes Reynolds up for it, and Leauge's got the interception. AJ's gonna have to carry this all the way out of his corner. He's got a full tank to work with, but here he comes. There's through 2 and Atomic, an excellent read. Can he put it into the ground? Send us to game 4, he sure can. Ghosts find life here in game 3.
There we go. picking on the backboard again. Ghost, a great job here in this one, and it's also credit to Ghost being able to keep the Knights, fairly even. They're not letting the Knights run all over them in terms of the pressure and controlling pace of play. And I think, honestly, that goes all the way back to Atomic. He is having one heck of a series, winning challenges, aggressive to the ball, and more importantly, in those aggressive scenarios, making big plays happen and winning challenges in the midfield and gaining possession for his team. And there he just beats two people and dumps it off for Mist.
So absolutely brilliant dribble here to make sure he maintains control. That second use of a flip. Set that one up. It's just the defender didn't expect him to be using that flip to keep that ball at that angle or at that altitude for as long as he did. And Atomic,
he's having a
2
series.
assists, Mist with 2 goals on 2 shots.
4 assists.
Pretty symmetrical board there for Ghost.
Yeah, and 4 assists and 2 goals for Atomic in the series so far. So definitely he's having himself a day, and unfortunately he's got another 5 minutes to go before they can think about winning the series. But game through was good. They got on the board first. Unfortunately, they didn't really box out the Knights. They kind of gave it right back. But at the end of the day, the midfield holds up. They handle some of those strong clears, and they don't sort of buckle under that bump pressure that you would expect from the Knights.
Well, and this means so much to Mist. Playing against the team that kicked him last season, you played so well with this team. This team was so good. If there was a roster move that I considered, why would you? I thought, like, why would you do that? Why would you get rid of Mist?
It was
He played
nice,
so well. Definitely keep this team together. His team kicks him and hope to improve. You know it would mean so much to Mist to prove him wrong right here. And to do it in what would effectively be a reverse sweep at this point. Solution to the side. Now Mist coming down, looking for the shot over the top of AJ. And this one's going to bounce dangerous, and Reynolds has a clear.
Oh, and Atomic gave AJ the respect in case he did get that little tip. He ran all the way back to goal. They know how good those Knights players are over there, and they're not willing to give him anything, as there's a bump towards that Ghost defense, and a nice bit of aggressive challenging to force the Knights off the ball there in the corner to buy time.
A bit of a traffic jam. 4 cars in the corner, none of them moving. It's Mist high in the air, already had the read on the clear, drops it to Atomic, puts it onto the backboard. AJ trying to control this, but he's lost a lot of velocity on this ball. It's going to be hard to get the clear. It's back to midfield with the help from Reynolds. The first minute come and go quietly for the first time this series. It's Reynolds onto the backboard. Ghost. Now Leauge with a cross. Reynolds looking for gyro. Can he get there in time? Those ambitious. He gets the pass back out. The shot's on target, and Atomic's got the save. Not enough speed or distance.
I don't know. I feel like the Knights kind of stretching the offense a little bit there. That's a lot of boost for not a lot of guarantee. They will get punched back onto the defensive half, but how long will they stay there?
AJ against Atomic. Atomic's there well before AJ can really meet the challenge, and then gets a bump on the goalie on his way out. AJ gets grounded again. Plays to the corner, but Mist has this read already. Beats 1. Now trying to beat 2. Reynolds manages to stop him. That tall back end. Reynolds down to the corner. Mist versus Reynolds here, finds one demolition. Here's the shot onto the back wall. Illusion's touch is just enough to break up any shot AJ could have possibly had. Reynolds with lots of space in the midfield. Looks for the pass across to AJ. The outfield pass, not good. Mist gets in the way. Here comes a follow from Gyro, but did not like that bounce. And now looking for the carry. He doesn't have really enough boost to work with here. He can't carry that above the defenders. And now AJ, he'll try to do the same thing. Sets it up for Reynolds, but Mist just takes his time, reads it well, gets the block, and now the clear from Atomic.
Might see 0-0 overtime. Both teams making some big plays back and forth. A bit of a jam for Ghost in the midfield, and now they're going to be kind of all spread out on the same side.
Atomic in this corner, Reynolds towards the box. Mist setting up Atomic, maybe looking for Illusion on the edge. AJ, a bit of space, but no boost to his name. Now Mist beating the midfield offense again. Neutral play. Ghost is able to advance on the offense. AJ's got it on the goal line, but Atomic trying to trap this, can't quite get control. And now back up, here comes Mist looking for the shot. And I agree that this is a 1-goal game. As Reynolds in the corner gets bumped just enough to lose control. AJ turns back around, but doesn't have the shot. It's wide. No, defense was really set up, and Mist will have just enough time to get ground and make a shot. Now Reynolds looking for the double tap. The soft one misses the ball entirely, and Gyro can't find a shot himself. Ghost will get out just barely with their life. Still nothing on both sides. 140 left to go. As Leauge looks for it, gets trapped against the defender, and AJ now with the counter clear. Should have enough boost. No, he's out of the tank. He's completely dry.
That time they didn't think too hard about it. Went straight for him, just in case he had more boost. And there's the demo. And now it's going to start getting into some ping pong here with some big clears back and forth, I imagine.
Leauge trying. The demolition might be the thing that breaks up that constant rotation. Just enough of a reset, but players getting bumped into each other all over the place, willy-nilly. 1:09 on the clock, approaching the final minute of game 4. Mist will look for a clear to Leauge. Nice. Found the connection. Atomic's rotating out. There's no real pass option here. Comes back down. AJ keeps it high. Gyro flanking him in the midfield. 48 seconds left.
Oh,
Mist looking for Leauge. Up against the defense. Gyro gets up in time and makes the save. Now AJ looking for the transition. He's got Reynolds in the cherry pick. He comes up for the shot, sends it on target, but missed again. Stops his former team. Gyro tries to advance, but can't. AJ calls him off. Now back down. Reynolds would need to do a complete 180, but he's not going to beat Atomic. With 30 seconds left, Reynolds into the corner. Now past one. Lofted, dangerous. Gyro's not going to find anything. Finds a second touch, though, and Leauge reads it, of all things. Now AJ back down and in. Atomic looks for Leauge. The setup here back to Atomic. The pass plays are good. Mist comes in, but Reynolds sends it to the edge. Final 7 seconds. Atomic in the corner. Gyro pushes it past 2.
Oh.
Now the carry. Does he have boost? I don't think so. Mist is going to try and slow this down. It will hit the ground. 0-0. 1 goal will be all that is needed in game 4.
A lot of saves for Ghost. 7 already to the 7 shots of the Knights. And that's not a good look if you're Ghost in a must-win game.
Reynolds with a counter. Atomic, no touch. Gyro to win the series. No, it's blocked by Leauge. The follow-up from his team, getting into position. Now back onto the box. There's Reynolds, but blocked by Atomic. Gyro over the top of one. Mist can't quite reach it, but it's still just wide, and there was no follow-up. The Knights not in position to take the shot. Low boost called off maybe by AJ, looking for the flick. The mind games. The defense just stays on the ground as this shot is again wide. Knights with all the opportunities. Here it goes. That one has to be in. Finally, they get him to bite, and Ghost put up a valiant fight, but lose it in 4.
Yeah, this was just Gyro rotating all the way back. Mist thinking Leauge is going to win that ball, prepares to go out to the side, maybe to have that ball kick out to him with the pass, or to follow up if Leauge wins the ball. And behind him, Atomic sits there, and he goes for boost in the corner, and that is right at the moment that the ball just falls into the middle, right into Gyro, and he just rips one. Unsavable. Tough break.
Man, Ghost put it up such an effort, and what a valiant performance in Game 3 to get themselves here. But it is the Knights that are able to vanquish Mist and his new gang. But man, Mist on the goal line, time and time again, they ran into their former teammate. He was able to keep his team alive. But there at the end, it did seem like just a chess match. Let's just get you to move out of position, free shot to win it.
Yeah, it really was just wear them down slowly but surely. They picked up right where they left off in the overtime, which is impressive considering the full reset.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Knights absolutely had Ghost just locked in towards the end of that game. Bang, 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 shots after shots. And then the overtime starts, and you win the boost control, you stick them right back to it, and finally they crack.
Yes, so often a 0-0 regulation ends in a kickoff goal in overtime.
Yeah.
So it's just the reset that you need. So, well done to Knights. They improve here. Their record continues to grow, and Ghost will continue to look for those wins. But we've got more Rocket League coming up. One more match here to end the day. NRG, undefeated, going up against Space Station, one of the strongest squads in the region. How will it go? Find out after the break.
At CDW, we get you want happy, productive employees.
That's why we've made our office pet-friendly. Maybe a little too pet-friendly.
Well, you know, CDW can design a mobility solution with light, powerful devices from Lenovo to make your people more productive in or out of the office.
Anyone have any questions before we go?
It's great. I really need to get out of here. Snake people are freaking me out.
Hey, Cheryl, give me a sec.
For workplace productivity, you need Lenovo and IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it.
誰もが旅をする。 できた。あなたはどこまで行く
I know that your grandma was killed. I also know you went looking for the person who killed your grandma. And I think you didn't do it alone. There is a right way.
How did Nazi get into the States?
I'm gonna find out. And a wrong way.
We get back to work.
To get justice. You can still choose to do the right thing.
This just in. Is Jonah Hill going to flake out on Martin Scorsese? The world wants to know.
Come on, Jonah, come on.
Smart speaker, play smooth jazz playlist. Smart speaker, play easy listening smooth jazz playlist.
Internet down.
Smart speaker, play easy listening smooth jazz playlist.
Internet down.
Your home is only as smart as your internet. Get fast, reliable internet with AT&T Fiber with speeds of 300 megabits per second, even during peak times. Bundle with DirecTV for $79.99 a month for a year. Limited availability may not be in your area. Call 1-877 only ATT.
And the Pittsburgh Knights proved to miss that they didn't need them at the end of the day with a 3-1 victory, putting themselves into a positive record. Welcome back to the North American League play and the RLCS. I am Brody alongside Gibbs and James Bott. We're going to talk about that match right now. Pittsburgh Knights, Ghost Gaming. That was a good series. In all honesty, that was some really fun Rocket League.
There is no better way for the Pittsburgh Knights. We're starting to talk like maybe this is one of the worst roster moves ever.
I know.
Take out the player that you just replaced. That's how you want to do it. Now, all of that is negated, and now both these guys can continue on with their seasons. But honestly, for this series alone, both teams looked really good.
Absolutely.
And I think both these teams looked like top 4.
This was a completely different night. I said this morning, or at the beginning of the show, that the Knights were going to would get worse before it gets better, and I couldn't be more wrong. I couldn't be more wrong. AJ and Riddle, the synergy that they showed in their reverse sweep versus Flight was back, and it was impressive, especially the play from AJ. It was a lights out play for the double tap dunk.
Look at this play right there. The bump on missed of all players, too. Reynolds really put the team on his back at times, but a lot more grounded passing, I felt like, between Reynolds and AJ. But on the other side, too, with Atomic and Mist, there were so many good 1-2 passing from them. High-scoring series, but all the goals well-deserved. Like, you can't really fault the defenses too much because of how good the passing was on both sides.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch these two teams continue to play out the rest of league play and maybe run into each other in the regional championship. We'll see.
They'll say, hey, we played good still, and we got to keep our head up on that, because you look at paper, it's a 3-1, right? You know, you kind of fell behind at the end of the series there. How do you pull yourself forward knowing that your matches aren't going to, really get easier?
So I think when you know that you played a good series, it's like, hey, that they were the better team today. They should understand that, and they should be fine moving forward, because again, in these online tournaments that people are, maybe discounting a bit, they still look successful there. And they've looked pretty successful throughout the season. They look like a top 4 team, in my opinion, still, and they just have to prove it later on.
They've got the components, Gibbs. I think that this is the best iteration of the Ghost roster that we have seen yet. But they still have the same old problems plaguing them, where they just can't get the wins that they need to. Even back in week 1 when they were playing Space Station, all the games were close. They looked like a good team, but they still did not manage to win those games. Same story plays out here versus the Knights, so I worry about that. But if they can figure it out, you can tell they've got all the pieces that they need to have a top 4 caliber team.
Well, we have one more match now to get to before we finish off week number 3, and it's our match of the day, NRG versus Space Station Gaming. Space Station Gaming, coming into the season, a lot of people had their eyes on them as, that second favorite team in North America, with NRG obviously at the top. Space Station hasn't really delivered to our expectations yet, and I'm wondering when we're going to start to see that. Is it going to be in this match? Because I think this would be really cool for Space Station to take this series.
So I think that Space Station case that they did falter last week just proves how good on the other side with NRG, how good they are, how good to be that consistent every single time they play in North America. But teams are going to falter, except for NRG. That's just the case. I think Space Station had an off week. We'll see if they can bounce back here. It is a true test, obviously, playing NRG, but they can do it, I think.
NRG is the team to beat. In the world right now, NRG is the team to beat. You think even in Europe, Vitality, the other team that got to the World Championship, they made the roster change. They're not looking the same. The team that has the target on their back is NRG, and maybe other than Dignitas, I don't think anyone is really playing at their level. So G2 maybe a little bit. You know, they're playing pretty well as well, but NRG is the team to beat, and Space Station is going to have to bring their A game. And because we even saw in the first series that NRG played today, they started out a little bit slow, but then they picked up their pace and smashed them 5-0 that second game and just cruised to victory.
And it's scary because they're led by Turbo Pulsar, the Golden Striker heading into this week. That is not something we see every single day.
He's still getting goals stolen from him left and right, and he's still up there.
He's still up there,
It's wild. He's playing on the offensive side of the field, which is not normal. We see 22% of the time he's on the offensive third. That is 8th best. Last season in the bottom 8. So he's moving up the field, and he's capitalizing on these chances with .88 goals. It's looking good, because if he's scoring the goals, Garrett and Justin will also put some in, and this offense will get to another level.
We can't have a Swede winning the North American Golden Striker. We can't.
He's trying to
He
do
already won the
everything.
MVP for World Championship, so I don't know what else he can do.
But that's global. This is different. This is in a league play.
We'll see him jump to another region next season and try to take all of their
Go to
accolades
Australia.
as well.
Go to OCE now.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, we'll see if we can continue to do that, but we're going to get into that match. NRG versus SSG. Join us online on Twitter at RL Esports, hashtag RLCS9. Will NRG continue their dominance? We find out now in our match of the day.
Two representatives of North America that made it to the World Championships in Season 8 now clash here again in their own region. NRG currently 3-0, looking to be 4-0 and at the top of the region at the end of the day. And Space Station looking to bounce back after losing to Sonics last week.
Definitely looking to bounce back, but it's always tough because every time Space Station's played NRG, it has started off okay, and then NRG has just absolutely shut them down.
Yeah.
So.
To be fair, that's how most teams go when they play
That is
NRG.
how most teams go, especially this season. But who knows? You know, maybe Arsenal's got a little something special in the tank today, and maybe gets the ball and makes Garrett and Turbo look silly back on defense. Who knows?
We might see it happen, and it's been pretty interesting the car choices this season too. Turbo was playing Mudcat in game number 1 against the team they played earlier, Flight, but they didn't. He switched off of it after they lost that game,
and then they won.
And then they won.
They
everything.
only allowed 1 goal after that. Yep, one goal.
They switched to triple Fennec, which I believe Monaco played in week 1. But other than that, it's one of the first times I've ever seen a team play without any Octanes or Dominuses. Usually, if you have a team that's got no Octanes, it's because they've got some Dominus presence. So the Fennec, very popular. Going back to Shaw said it, that dream hack, he wins, changes up the whole scene, and I'm excited to watch these teams. Season 9 is just a fun season of Rocket League.
It is a fun season of Rocket League. I think every season is a fun season, especially this season.
Especially the one we're in right now. Space Station Getman versus NRG. Let's get on to the field and see how it's going to go. Got NRG in the blue, Space Station in the orange. Best of 5. As Typical looks for an early goal. Not going to find anything. Garrett G carrying over the top of 2. Couldn't quite get it past Arsenal. Arsenal also driving the Fennec here. So 4 Fennecs, 3 Octanes. Or 2 Octanes, excuse me. That's math.
And they are going to need all the help they can get from Typical and AXB on the defensive side of things. Those two need to find a way to stop that Garrett G Turbo or Turbo Justin combo. And it's all going to be on Arsenal to get the offense started.
That's the problem Space Station and all the teams in North America face. There is no just 1 threat or 2 threat option. Literally any combination of the NRG players is deadly. As Justin with a tip that Garrett G was not expecting here. This will go back to the corner. AXB will look to control it, but Turbo pulls it.
Typical AXB on the defense side of things. Those two need to find a way to stop that Garrett G Turbo or Turbo Justin combo. And it's all going to be on Arsenal to get the offense started.
That's the problem Space Station and all the teams north. It's 2-0 NRG.
Yeah, this was just Justin popping one towards the wall. AXB doesn't get all of it. Sypical is stuck sideways, so he can't challenge the ball. And Turbo notices there's going to be this teeny window. That really was not big. Sypical was pretty close to making it to that, despite his ability to literally make the three-point turn to try and face that way.
But he still finds the shot. Turbo Pulsa now with 2 goals. Game number 1. 1:50 on the clock. Justin looking for the plays. He's out of boost. Sets it up for Garrett G. The defense already airborne. Will make the stop. Arsenal hanging behind AXB. Now Sypical coming up. Justin again shuts them down. And Arsenal back down and in. The setup to Garrett G. Just takes the shot from midfield. Sypical's got the block out to AXB. Can he find the clear? Beats Garrett G.
Oh,
Turbo pulls it up. Garrett G looking for the crazy shot. Couldn't quite tuck it underneath the crossbar. Shot it straight down.
I just said score it because I just want to see him score crazy goals.
It would have probably been the craziest goal of the day. Now here's Justin with the flick and in. 3-0. NRG have the number here in game number 1.
And Justin has help from Turbo. Wins the ball, but forces the defense to think about how they're going to save it. Makes Sypical think about the demo and the save. And again, perfect execution. Justin into the top. Can't reach it. And all is as it should be if you're an NRG fan.
Justin is really settling into what makes him so strong. The ability to play loose and clean. Oh my goodness. Passing plays from Space Station nearly work out on the far side. Up by 3. NRG's more or less secured game number 1, but still always the chance of a crazy comeback from Space Station. But Justin, when he feels comfortable to use all of his boost whenever he feels like it, is when he is genuinely the most deadly. And when you've got Turbo and Garrett G playing well behind you, that's when he can do literally whatever he wants.
It's that value. Oh, nice pass. And Garrett G sniffed that one out. Wow.
What a read. The defense just playing perfection right now as they are set to shut out Space Station. Space Station can just get a single goal. Will help bring them back here and break up some momentum.
And they've had some pretty great looks, a lot of one-on-one chances. And NRG has just come up with some massive stops in this game 1. I mean, we're sitting here talking about like NRG's kind of running the table, but to be honest, they've had to make some real tough saves against this Space Station squad.
It's Turbo. 3-1, AXB onto the wall. Arsenal up for it, but blocked by Garrett once more in the final 5 seconds. It's Turbo with all the ball control. He'll keep this one away from the defenders. Sends it onto the backboard. A follow-up from Garrett G down to Justin, blocked by the defense. And Garrett G will just play it away. Does Arsenal find a way to put this one in? No, it'll just touch the ground. NRG take game 1 with complete control. And my goodness, I want to go back to that Garrett G stop because, again, the infield passes from Space Station over and over again in this final minute were beautiful, and the defense of NRG knew where it was like 3 years in advance. It's pretty insane, but game number 1 was all Turbo Pulsa and Justin. Justin getting that final goal to go ahead as it was Turbo to the edge. Justin, again, he barely stops boosting through the play as he manages to ball all the defense. Turbo set him up beautifully.
Just spends all the time over there. Justin, I mean, it's the control, the finesse. It's what he made a name on, and it's what he, like you were talking about, it's what gets him so comfortable when he says, all right, I have all the boost that I could need for whatever I think I'm about to do. And the best part about it is he is the epitome of gifted improviser when it comes to Rocket League. Give him the ball and any amount of boost in any position, and he will still do something new with it every time.
How many people go up to block something, pop the ball, and it kind of goes out of your zone of influence, and they're like, I can still reach that. I'm going to continue to boost after it and chase it down one more time. He did that multiple times in this series, and honestly, when he feels comfortable to do that,
dangerous.
It's just so dangerous. So the thing I will say for Space Station, though, I loved the midfield challenges. Garrett G wasn't completely unchallenged there. Yeah. They were managing to win the ball back in their favor a few times. That's definitely something they can start to build a comeback on.
But Space Station got their backs up against the wall. They did, like, you're absolutely right. A lot of the time, a lot of those good possessions came from breaking down the defense, but a couple of them also on solid counterattacks. It's just NRG's defense had to do a little bit of extra work to keep the ball out, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Space Station crack the net this time around. You can't keep making big stops like that all the time.
3-car pile up in the corner will space itself out. Now Space Station will look for their first goal of the series. Garrett G stretches in the midfield. AXB looking for Arsenal. Justin won't make contact. Now Arsenal looking for Garrett G, but he flies over his head. Garrett with a nice soft play. Looked for a second touch, and it works. Turbo pulls it with a rare miss in the midfield. Justin plays slow and waits for the rest of Space Station to make mistakes. Garrett G trapping it once more, and it's just been slow, methodical play as he gets it through one, now through two. Can he get the pass across? No, AXP, an excellent adjustment to block Turbo's shot.
Very smart to read that Garrett wasn't trying to play the 1v1 for the shot, was going for the pass, and AXP picked up on that. It's a great read on his part to stop a dangerous opportunity.
Here comes Arsenal on the far side, nearly gets the tap in, and a double commit on defense, but it's nice and low to the ground. They'll space out immediately. NRG able to advance. Turbo empty in the tank. I think he gets the corner. Now AXP against Typical. Pass back down. Arsenal's got it away. Here's Garrett G. Pass across. Turbo pulls the stretches for it, but misses again. Now Justin puts it high. Garrett doesn't like the look and just chooses to fall back, trusting his ability to challenge this ball off of Space Station's hoods. Here's Garrett to the corner. Justin sets it up. Turbo going to be airborne, but broken up by Sipical, and now Arsenal with the extension at midfield.
And Arsenal's trying. Again, he's the key to victory for Space Station Gaming once they get the ball. He's got to find ways to beat defenders.
Turbo's like, thanks, Arsenal. Appreciate you killing that and passing it to me. Sipical pick it up off of Turbo's touch. With 3 minutes left to go, pretty quiet game number 2 here. Both teams with good looks, good opportunities, but nothing finding the back of the net just yet.
Looking for AXB. There's, so close. And Garrett G wisely. I mean, you can't take the risk that there's somebody behind you and let that ball go. He just tips it onto the corner because it's the safer play. But right now, NRG, they're kind of stuck.
It's AXB setting up for Sipical. Looks for the double tap, but can't get there. The clear comes through. Halftime, no goals on either side as Justin flicks it past one. AXB in the corner, Sipical there as well now. Sipical waits his time, but Garrett G gets it out to Justin. AXB's got up in time. Here comes Turbo Pole, so he'll have a free touch. Can he find a second one? No, just bails on the ball. Now Garrett G into the corner once more, just trying to draw SSG out of position and out of the goal. Here comes Justin up against AXB, straight in front of him. He'll make the block, and now Turbo Pole, so looks for the slow play, and Sipical's got it red. He'll put it off to the side, but now out of boost and sitting on his own tank. He'll find it. He gets the pill in the corner. Arsenal up against Justin, now back down. Turbo pulls a looks for the shot, gets it off the wall. That one's got a lot of pace on it. NRG's got to fall back quickly.
Nice.
Justin, what a setup. Here comes Garrett G. 33 boost in the tank, but broken up again. AXB on that back wall has been pretty clean today.
That's a good job from Garrett G as well to just try and play the ball there. He knows he only has enough boost to work with a missed touch, so he doesn't even waste his time trying to go for a challenge that he can't make. Just takes the opportunity to, if they miss it, I'm going to make a good touch and let my teammates worry about it. And that's a rare miss. Do they turn it on? Arsenal behind him.
Well done. The shot placement from Arsenal will give Space Station their first goal and the lead here in game 2.
That missed touch in the midfield. Sipical dumps it off, and no chance for Garrett G. Perfect execution from SSG. Finally, a mistake on defense, and NRG will have to find a goal in 86 seconds.
Well, I think it was 2. I think Turbo also missed a shot, but here comes the follow-up. Arsenal makes the save, but Turbo and Justin both missing. The 2 whiffs is what it took to set up an infield pass that took still perfect placement. NRG's defense, even when 2 people fall apart, can still have it work. Now Arsenal looks for the security. They'll get it.
Same spot.
107, same placement and same player. 2 goals now for Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal just stealing away the boost. Sipical goes right towards the middle, and Turbo Pulsa just cannot readjust to deal with a ball that just stopped right in the middle and popped up. And Garrett G right behind him. Can't defend the back post once again. Arsenal finds it.
We said it was the match of the week, or the match of the day here for North America. And after game number 1, it looked like it might have just been a complete stomp from NRG, but Space Station come back into this with 1 minute remaining. The game's not out of reach, but pretty unlikely NRG's going to be able to find 2.
Oh dear,
especially they're not going to be able to find 3. The game is now over.
Yep, the game is now over, and that's just because Turbo doesn't catch this one properly. Comes down the wall with a little too much speed, gets out in front of it, and instead of having it land cleanly on the front of his car, lands right on top, kicks up, and Sipical. We'll take that one with a thank you very much attached to him.
Honestly, with Sipical's speed, I'm not sure if the ball had landed in front of his car if it wouldn't have still been a goal. Turbo was definitely caught in a rough situation where that ball was inevitably going to cross his net. Sipical was looking for that. He knew that. With 30 seconds left now, plenty of time for NRG to start thinking about game number 3. What do we want to do differently here is and honestly, if they can find a goal, that would be nice just to kind of break up the the mirror match here. They scored 3 on SSG in game number 1 and shut them out. And now here, being shut out, having 3 scored, they'd like to be able to maintain some of the momentum.
And a significant lack of Justin being able to get a hold of all those boosts and really make the defense think about what he's about to do with it. As Garrett G will make a nice backflip save to keep the score line at 3-0 for game 2. But NRG, I mean, they started off pretty solid, some clean back and forth. Space Station started working them back in, boxing them into their own half, and finally a couple of misses, and just like that, bang, game's out of reach with no time.
I mean, those 3 goals happened within around 40 seconds of each other.
30, 40 seconds.
1 goal was all it took, and then bam, 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 they managed to put 3 in.
And that's just unfortunate there for Turbo right at the end. Unclean catch, Sipical ate it up.
This one is the best microcosm of how this game went for NRG.
Yeah, it's like
just one mistake, that's all it was. Whoops. And the other mistakes happened a little bit further away from the mistake, from the shot, rather.
Space Station there to clean it up.
But yeah, a very slow-paced game here, where NRG's offense in game number 1 was decently spread out. SSG needed kind of 4 minutes of warm-up or so to get going here in game number 2. But this does set us up for quite the series game, guaranteed at least game 4. And I'm excited to see which team in the chess match makes the best move here in game 3.
Yeah, and you were talking about Justin and the control and the air dribbles and using all the boost and stuff. And there's a twofold value to that. One, Justin is good enough to maybe just beat all the defense and score it, or set it up for the offense to score. So that's sort of 1.5 points on its own. But 2, the biggest part of it is you gain ball control, and what that does is it wastes time. And the importance of wasting time in that scenario is it lets Garrett G and Turbo have the extra time as Justin's just spinning here, flipping and twisting and holding onto the ball to go grab the boost and get set in the midfield for the next couple of challenges. And that level of control is so valuable and gives NRG a lot of time to make sure they're ready wherever on the pitch.
Turbo Pulsa was reading the flip reset. Managed to get a block, but still Space Station got a shot there following kickoff. Sipical with not the best save, but he managed to get a pinch off of Garrett. Now over to the edge. Off of 1. Here comes AXB. Play back down. Over the top. Justin switching up the decals again. Sticking on the Fennec, but keeping his flashy colors. As the passes come back in front of the box, AXB over to the side, Turbo Pulsa. Got that nice long touch, but didn't have any follow-up. And now Sipical controlling this midfield. Space Station has managed to stay on offense for the first minute here of game number 3.
Nice ideas.
A little bit of space here. AXB leaves it for Sipical, and there's nobody from NRG. Justin gets 1 demolition. Garrett G passed 1. Sipical's got to make the save, and he gets it away. Turbo Pulsa, understanding Sipical's control, had hung back at midfield. Now back off to the side. Here's Justin. Lots of space, lots of boost. Can he do it all the way? He's got the flip reset, but broken up. Sipical will have none of it. Says, stop with your shenanigans.
Exactly, and all it did was buy time. It let Turbo run all the way back to his own half, grab the boost, and after Justin just lost the ball, Turbo's right there for it. And now they're back into the neutral game. So they lost possession, but it didn't matter.
Sipical kind of reverse Goombaing Justin away from that save. Sipical onto the backboard. Does he have his own follow-up? Ball was wide. He just goes for the demolition, but there's not really a solid position here to use that demolition. Justin comes off the respawn, makes the touch out to Turbo, and they're really struggling to get this ball going long ways, though. They're playing it laterally well. Finally, the clear comes through. Justin over the top of 1. Garrett G wins that challenge. Back down to Justin. Tries to push it into the box. Does he have enough boost? No boost at all. He can't gain any speed to just push it in front of the box so Turbo can just dumpster it in.
That was a nice job from Arsenal getting out in front of that one, too, despite a couple of nice challenges from NRG. Looking for the seam, and it's down to Turbo, and it's not fast enough.
Sipical makes the save. An excellent outfield pass. But Sipical makes that adjustment. Quality play in Space Station, showing why they were one of the best teams in North America last year. Garrett G stretching for this one. Own goal nearly puts it in, but Sipical bounces it off of his own crossbar, says not a problem. Then finds a clear. Now Garrett G looks for another one. Arsenal's got this touch, but both defenders bit. Can they push through the front line off defense? And no, the answer is Arsenal and AXB find the clears.
Yeah, Turbo was looking for the demo on AXB too, but you could see the hesitation from NRG. They weren't sure if it was going to come through. Now you'll see if Space Station can jam NRG on their own half again like they did in game 2.
Garrett G through 1. Now the dunk on the second. Still 70% of his boost to work with. Finds a touch, finds a chase, opens up space. Turbo and Justin now moving up, but Sypical by himself will dismantle everything Garrett just did. Now he comes back in once more, trying to pressure him. The bumps onto multiple players. What happened here? Turbo causing chaos.
So they lose the ball, but Garrett G's already rotated back, and Turbo playing forward goes for two things. One, either the bump, or two, the redirect.
How does he bump the defender and not touch the ball? That was insane. Turbo, what a setup.
Oh, wait, Turbo actually got the goal.
Oh, Turbo did touch the ball.
He
Okay,
did touch the ball.
I can't read, apparently.
Me neither.
Well done. NRG scores the first goal in a creative fashion. Sypical will look to dribble this out. Turbo sits in net, pre-jumps for it, gets the block. Garrett G demolished. Can the follow-up come through? But no, it's too wide. Arsenal has to play for the pass. Sypical also will touch it to the corner. They beat Garrett G there, Justin airborne. And Arsenal traps it against the wall. Turbo quickly closes that gap, holds this ball in midfield, gets it past Arsenal. Can he trap it one more time? No, Sypical gets it away, puts it high. Now
Open
Garrett G,
goal.
the shot. Justin should be there. He makes that save despite the demolitions in the midfield. Turbo back down. Arsenal off respawn. Puts it high. Justin, what a read. Back down and in.
Nice.
XB looks for the misdirection. It's not there. And with 1 minute left, NRG, they've got one goal, and it might be the only one they need. And what has been a stingy Arsenal defense. Their offense has been really raring to go here. Justin with an absolute howitzer down the field. Sypical to the edge. Now Arsenal holding on to this by himself. Challenges against Justin, pushes it through. Justin comes back down off the wall, gets it backwards, flicks it over two, and Sypical has to break this up before it gets too crazy. Now, Arsenal back through the air with 30 seconds left. The pass across to Sypical. Turbo shuts it down. Now, can he find the goal? Keeps it high. AXB puts it off to the wall, and Garrett G cannot finish that one off. 20 seconds left. NRG's holding on.
The big brain understanding from Turbo Pulsa there, understanding they're trying to go for the three-point pass play. Cut down the lane, because if it goes straight, it's going to go into the corner, and that'll be no problem. Sypical pops one down, but nobody home. And Space Station will have to go the final moments from their own half.
Can they get it 2 players up? That one should secure the game here. It'll fall down, and that'll be a goal. At 1 second left, not possible to score 2. Garrett G will secure the game for NRG, and they'll be on match point.
Can't put this one in the montage, though. Still time on the clock. Garrett, you should be disappointed.
It could have been a buzzer beater.
It could have been a buzzer beater. It's fine.
Even though they can't win.
Now it can't go in the montage.
Yeah, you can't have all that like fluff on the end there.
It's just extra replay time. That's right. Can't have that.
2-0, 5 goals to 3 on the series so far from NRG versus Space Station. It's been a nice even one, a back and forth of back-to-back like inverse shutouts.
Yep.
Games 1 and 2, and now 2-0. The trend continues here.
And this game felt to me like Space Station Gaming. A lot of times after we check out this nice 1 second goal from Garrett G, for shame.
All you had to do is just slow it down.
Just rotate back a little bit.
Yeah. The goal still goes in.
The goal still goes in.
Beautiful goal explosion, too. Get your rocket pass.
Look, he rotated forward. Like, come on, man.
Come on, he's playing. Hey, man, this is a guy that got to where he's at by always playing the best he possibly can.
That's true.
And the guy that has won a world championship and still focuses so heavily on this game. It's so easily for champs to fall off. It's so easy for them to be like, well, what is the point now? Like, the drive is gone because they did what they've set out to do. And he still continues. I remember talking about the world championship, too, just being like, so you playing any other games? What else are you doing? Like, let's stop talking about Rocket League. There's nothing there's nothing you and I can't tell each other about this game. Well, there's a lot he could tell me. But, like, there's, like, how am I supposed to have a conversation with you? What else you want to talk about? He's like, I'm not playing anything else. I play Rocket League. If I played another game, that would mean I would be becoming worse at Rocket League. I'm supposed to play this game. This is the whole point of my life right now. And he is very, very good at this video game.
And, it's led him to a very high point. In fact, the World Championship. So, he's done well so far. And NRG, I feel like a good start in Game 3, but Game 4, I'm curious to see if Space Station makes some adjustments. It felt like they were just so ready for NRG to be right in their face that they would rush touches and kind of just give the ball away. So, curious to see if that field awareness from Space Station picks up and they get a bit more possession here.
Justin slows this down, but none of his team was there to pick up the pass as it came across the midfield. Arsenal will make a touch now. Garrett G trying to advance. Turbo will come in to pick up control, and Space Station a little bit caught off guard at the beginning of Game 4. So far in the series, the team that has scored first has won.
True.
The momentum is maintained. No team has managed to. There has not been. Both teams have yet to score in the same game. So that first goal might be all that matters. As Justin goes for the air carry, looks for a flip reset, doesn't quite get it, and Arsenal will take it off of his car. Typical the pass out to AXB. Turbo Pulsa. Long clears. Back into the space station half. Justin up. Garrett G demolished in the midfield. Arsenal with not the best position to take that pass. Actually, got the ball neutral in the midfield. And AXB bails on the touch. Now Garrett G up against Arsenal. Looks for the flick on one. Turbo Pulsa's up for the shot, but couldn't make it work. Now Justin comes in to see if he can do it before they have to fall back.
And now NRG, they just sit there because they're like, okay, Justin has command. We just have to make sure we read the challenge.
There's no reading this. Just what happened.
What happened?
Let's just watch. Here comes Justin in the midfield up against AXB. He'll send it laterally. And now look for a shot himself, but loses control and doesn't have any boost. It's a long fall back down. His team be a little bit marooned. Luckily for them, Arsenal manages to gain control. Sipical played underneath Garrett G. NRG's having to play a lot in their own corner right now. Now Justin up against Arsenal. Block it as he makes the wall thicker. Turbo Pulsa. Can't get it quite out here. The corners have been safe spaces for both teams. Once the ball's there, there's really not much offensive pressure that comes no matter how many cars they throw at it. Garrett G makes the play off the wall. Justin, half a tank to work with. AXB will break it up though.
Great clear.
All the way to the counter corner. Garrett rotates back as Turbo looks for a counter clear. Justin to the edge here with approaching halftime. Turbo Pulsa with a miss. No, Arsenal wants to close in, but everybody respected Turbo's touch.
Yeah, understandably.
Now Justin, the pass across, broken up by Sipical. Here comes Space Station. Can they find the goal? No. Garrett G keeps so much speed on that ball, it barely falls out of the sky as it makes the entire length of the field.
They just handed him the ball. Here we go.
AXB looking to play fullback. Be no luck. Sipical back in the middle. Garrett G airborne. Or Garrett G demolished. Turbo Pulse airborne, rather. And now Justin looks for it, but slow in the midfield. Arsenal is coming over the top of him. Garrett G off the respawn makes a touch, and Justin got bumped. Can he possibly pressure AXB? He was looking for it. 1:49 left to go. Been a very similar game to game 3.
Yeah.
This comes back down. Justin slows us down. Tries to pinch it off of Sipical, but Sipical doesn't have any of it. Now AXB crossing his own net across from Arsenal, but Garrett G not close enough to finish it. Both teams playing safe and methodical, neither willing to really commit on offense. And it's doing well to keep them alive, but some goal and scoring opportunities going awry. Now here comes a shot from Arsenal. Justin's right there. Sends it off to the edge. We'll approach this final minute, getting into golden goal territory.
There's the pressure in the net from Space Station, trying to crack that NRG shell. And Arsenal, like that's exactly what I'm talking about. Garrett G drove up the wall, and Arsenal just immediately ripped that ball as hard as he could out of a scoreable position just because he didn't want Garrett G to touch the ball.
Arsenal through the air, finds the second touch onto the backboard. Falling back down's not going to have anything as he's out of boost. Garrett G to the edge. Sipical. Back down Justin to Turbo. Looking for Garrett? No, it's just too far away, and Arsenal will have an easy clear. Garrett G back down. A bump from Turbo onto AXB. Could break up the rotation, but Arsenal's just done so much work holding onto this ball. 30 seconds remaining.
Nice cover.
Back number 1. Turbo Pulsa up onto the backboard. Won't have the second touch. AXB again breaks it up. Now Justin through 1. Up against Arsenal. Beats him. Back to the corner. Turbo Pulsa's got the response. AXB already airborne to the edge. The defensive Space Station's holding on, but they're struggling to find offensive opportunities.
Another overtime?
10 seconds left. Yep, overtime glimmering on the horizon. As Garrett G looks for Justin. Just enough boost? No, not quite. Garrett G now keeps it up. Turbo Pulsa airborne, looking for the all-or-nothing play. Sipical will break it up. AXB with the tank to work with, but this will fall into no man's land and die. Overtime in Game 4. If NRG score, the series ends.
Real nice job from Justin there, just to make sure that Space Station didn't get the touch they wanted. That's a big win, and Justin forced to tip it in case Space Station put the pressure on. And a big miss, Garrett G. Oh, you went for the fake.
Sipical doesn't quite bite, goes for the side flip, just follows along with that ball. Now Arsenal and AXB, dual threat on the edge here. Uses the wall instead of his teammate. Turbo Pulsa can't quite get there. Justin keeps it high. Typical. Onto the side. Garrett G up. AXB beat. Can get the double tap. Hey! AXB sends us to Game 5. And oh my goodness, a back and forth affair.
That's a repeat of the shot from last week for AXB. Another beautiful read off that top corner, and they'll get them all the way to Game 5. Well done, AXB.
This series is just so one side than the other. The question for me in Game 5 is, will both teams score? Will both teams score in the same game? Because so far it hasn't happened yet. But we have gotten to Game 5. We expected this one to go the distance, the match of the week. And this one was all because of AXB. Honestly, his defense too, on the not in goal. It isn't reflected in the saves, but in the corners, the way he was constantly breaking up the double tap setups that people like Justin were going for. AXB was so strong.
Real nice job from Space Station. I'm definitely with you. The defense is what wins that game for them in Game 4, just like NRG's defense is, I think, what kept it out of overtime for them in Game 1, because Space Station Gaming had a lot of great opportunities back there. So Game 5, all bets are off. I will go out on a limb and say yes, both teams score.
I would hope so. But if the trend continues, this is going to be a one-goal game for NRG that wins it.
But at the same time, I mean, NRG's starting to show a little bit of cracks there in Game 4. A lot of misses, allowed Space Station Gaming, a lot of pitch control.
And safe play. Constantly playing to the corners. I saw so few opportunities where I felt like, oh, Space Station's got to make a crazy save. They've got to really find a way to dig deep and read what's going to happen here. They're just constantly going to the corners, constantly getting broken up in the midfield as well, which I think Space Station's midfield game is strengthened throughout the course of this series. That might be part of why, but you know NRG can find a way to beat the best of them, but make them sweat.
But that's also how NRG, does things. They're a team that isn't about always making the big play. Are they capable of it? Yes, but the philosophy on offense for NRG is beat the man. Get the ball by the guy. Don't worry about where it goes. Just beat the man. And that's why you see a lot of fairly safe play from NRG on the offensive side.
Well, into Game 5, this one is all or nothing. Justin doing his fairy peak impression with that paint job. Sipical will put it to the corner. Looks for a shot. Justin's got a save. Garrett G half flips around looking for the touch. Arsenal doesn't make much of this on the wall. Looking to back pass it to AXB, and Garrett G lets him do it. Just gives him the space. And now the setup. Here comes Space Station. Sipical, the earliest they've scored yet. Space Station's got the lead.
Ate him alive. Nice bit of command from Arsenal. Get it on the back pass. AXB hard cut, and Turbo Pulsar for once can't read the passing lane. Dives too far, and Sipical cuts it right down.
1-0 for Space Station. They've given NRG a lot of time to come back. And at this point, you might be like, why are we talking about comebacks 40 seconds in? Well, again,
all shutouts.
No team has scored when they didn't score the first goal in this series, so.
And this is a dangerous precedent to set here with Space Station Gaming coming out here in Game 5, and again, starting off on the offensive front, boxing NRG in.
It's Turbo Pulse 3-1. Garrett G again into the corner, and Arsenal's happy to see it there. AXB will pass out. Arsenal up. Looks for Sipical. A pass back down. That beats one. And now the shot from midfield. Maybe could have controlled it and take the shot later, but still love to see this formation. And now on the other side, Garrett G looks to ball Arsenal. But, man, Arsenal has just had Garrett's number over and over again. And now the long clear. Space Station playing like a team that wants to win it. Garrett comes in from the corner and makes the save. Oh, my goodness.
Huge save from Garrett. Nice little hiccup there from AXB. Forces Turbo to delay. And what do they got?
Sipical back down to Arsenal. Garrett G and company have had no midfield control this series. Space Station have been able to do whatever they want, and they're constantly going for these passes. A demolition onto Garrett, and again, AXB, lots of space. Turbo tries to challenge him, but it falls back down. Justin will get it away.
AXB almost made that probably the prettiest goal of the day.
Garrett G with an attempt. Typical now in the corner, beaten by Turbo, but he's low on boost, even though that cluster is right there. Arsenal now through the air. Garrett G stops him. And a miss from Justin opens up space for Turbo.
There's a demo.
There's Sipical coming up against Garrett G. Traps it. Garrett G gets one block, and Turbo's got the save. What a stop from Garrett. And now Justin with an attempt. Arsenal in the corner. Looking to set this one up by himself. See if he can find the dish. Nearly gets there. Actually sets it up. AXB. Space Station's got a 2-goal lead.
Garrett makes a hero save. Arsenal beats the man. Sticks it to the wall. Turbo just undercuts it a little bit. He ran out of boost, I'm pretty sure. And that's why he didn't get any higher up to that ball, and they just can't make the cover up.
Garrett G tries in the goal line, but again, 2 goalies there. It happens in the split second that Justin misses. Garrett G, there's nothing he could do. Arsenal, an attempt now. Garrett G in the corner. Turbo pulls it back down. Garrett G's up for it, but AXB, perfect defense, holds again.
Now it's dangerous if you're NRG. You know.
Got to find a way back into this series. You have to score at this point. Not that you didn't have to score before, but like it just feels so much more dire in the way that this series has gone. Now AXB holds on, and again, Garrett G and company can only seem to find a way to get the ball to the corner. This sets up Sipical, gets blocked by AXB. The clear goes long, and Justin will wait for Arsenal's touch. And Arsenal's happy to burn time. Justin over the top of one. AXB off the wall is perfect again. Arsenal back down and in. Sipical tries to stall it out in the corner,
nice.
but what was this challenge? Turbo Pulse says thank you very much, and finally we've got goals on both sides of the scoreboard.
Real smart here from Turbo. Arsenal, I'm not sure what that was. Turbo just... I mean, he drives that forward and then hits the backflip because he's expecting the defense to hit that as they drive across the goal. That means it's going to come right back out to that near side of the box. So Turbo just backflips to put himself in that lane. But either way, Space Station Gaming don't make the save.
Finally, NRG will break the pattern, but they still need another goal. 1:38 left to go. They've got plenty of time to work with, but man, only being able to score on Space Station mistakes is not a great recipe right now. Space Station has played so clean for so many games.
Oh, dear.
Here comes Arsenal looking to get the lead right back. 2-goal lead again as they find the holes on defense.
This touch, Sipical wins the ball. Garrett G, under duress, is forced to go for a touch that he really would much rather have a little more time to think about how to approach it. And the forced error from Space Station earns him a third one.
126. NRG needing to find 2 goals. Space Station looking to break their perfect record here. And bounce back after a loss in week 2. The defense holds again. Space Station has been so good, but here comes Justin, the defense. Oh my goodness, the misses. The shot from Garrett. Oh, the shot is just too high. Tipped up by the defense. The opportunities, it looked like it would be a 1-goal game guaranteed, but no. Space Station just barely holds on enough. Now Turbo back down on the far side, the counterattack. Turbo couldn't make the touch. It's a 3-goal game.
Arsenal, again, the back pass, control of the ball here in Game 5, and Turbo doesn't cleanly square up the clear, and that is it.
It was a touch like that in Game 2 that basically secured the loss for NRG. Turbo Pulsa struggling on that back board. Now Justin, 52 seconds left, down by 3. This would be one of the best comebacks in RLCS history if Garrett G and company were able to make this happen. Garrett G looks for it. Over the top of one, Sipical in the corner.
Arsenal.
Oh my goodness.
What a read.
They find the stop. But burning time, the name of the game. Demolitions, sure, why not? Space Station, after dropping 3 goals in game number 1. And looking like they were completely outclassed, come flying back, put in another one, 5-1. SSG is taking this series home.
What a day for Space Station Gaming. Picking apart all the missed touches from NRG in games 4 and 5. A lot of missed balls on the defensive half. NRG played great defense to start, but they can't be perfect all the time. And Arsenal has a heck of a game in game 5 with great control of the ball, constantly looking for the back passes, trying to hang on to possession. NRG crack a little bit on defense, and Space Station make them all pay.
They crack a lot. 4 seconds left. The Brazil's possible. I'd love to see Space Station make the statement. As they put in another one, NRG definitely a little bit deflated right now.
Yeah.
And not playing with all their energy, knowing the win is out of reach. And what was a hard-fought series with 2 brilliant performances from NRG will fall flat. It's Arsenal. Can he pick this one up? Can he go for it? He's going to have trouble keeping this one up. And Space Station will win it 6-1 in Game 5. What a statement they make as they knock off NRG's perfect record.
And that's a well-deserved win if you're Space Station Gaming. Oh, boy, did you have to work for that one. In games 4 and 5, that overtime, huge play from AXB with the beautiful shot to end it. And game 5, the midfield presence, again, you mentioned that their midfield control has really upped itself throughout the course of the day. and they turn it into a 6-goal game in Game 5 to close it out. So, well done, well deserved for you, Space Station.
NRG definitely just Space Station had their number. They slowly over the course of the series were like, oh, I see what's happening here. I see where we need to be. Midfield control. Let's take this away. Let's stop you. And honestly, in Game 5, I felt like NRG was giving it to them so many times. I felt like they weren't playing this all gas, no brakes, let's just go for it style. And Space Station just ate that up.
Yeah, they tried. NRG tried to get aggressive and stay with those plays, but then that was when you saw Arsenal just keep the ball with him on the way out of the rotations and just jump it back off. And NRG just, for whatever reason, couldn't make the touch, couldn't cut down the passing lane, couldn't keep up. And Space Station Gaming tore them apart.
Yeah, you gotta give it to AXB and Typical in the gang there. The defense was so strong, and then they had some offense to back it up there. Love to hear the thoughts on the desk. Is this the end of NRG's reign in the top 2? What do you think, Gibbs?
Gibbs, you answer that, because I feel like that's a silly question.
So it is. My bold prediction was Energy to finish outside top 2, but I'm still not sold on my own bold prediction. They look pretty good here. Space Station, though, they are a world-class team, and I think they showed it here. Last week was an off week. Again, those weeks don't happen for Energy, but it did feel a little bit like that throughout the series towards the end. A lot of defensive mistakes that we don't see from Energy.
Yeah, a few missed touches. That overtime win in Game 4 was massive. The AXB, I have to give you credit, Gibbs. You and Jorby both said AXB was the guy. And in that huge moment, he came through for him.
So to be fair, in games 1 through 3, he didn't put any offensive numbers up. But he did get the most important one for Game 4. But just the team passing from Space Station, like even in the games they lost, was so pretty. Just 1, 2, 3 passes. And Energy, most of the time, put cars in front of those shots. But eventually, it started to break down Energy's defense. And Space Station looks like they just got that series back. They lost the Sonics, but there's no better way to bounce back than to take a series over Energy. Not many teams will.
Exactly. You don't expect many teams to take NRG down, especially in this fashion. And Waypunk had pointed it out. It was shutout to a shutout to a shutout to a shutout, and then
Brazil.
Finally, we almost capped it off with a Brazil. NRG looked good at times, but especially in the last game, you could tell that they were struggling. A few missed touches in the corner, even Turbo mistouching it on the back wall. It wasn't pretty in that final game for NRG. But they still almost pulled out the win against a Space Station team that is expected to finish near the top despite losing to the Sonics. I think it just goes to tell you, or goes to show you, how good the Sonics are.
Yeah, well, this is just how good any of these teams are for the most part here, to be honest. But again, at the beginning of the season, we did those pro rankings, and all the teams had the Space Station at that number 2 spot.
Exactly.
And we had some doubt on them, but Gibbs, are you feeling like, okay, maybe we can believe in them again?
So it just goes to show that North America, it's not easy to win every single week. And I think Energy has shown that it has been that easy for them. And I think it's finally a wake-up call that there are no easy games anymore. Like, even against Flight, they're 0-4, but they put up some fights today versus G2. So every single series, you have to bring your A game, or you're going to drop some. But now it's a longer season. It's a 9-game season. So consistency will prevail by the end. But right now, that top 4, incredibly close all the way through.
Well, while they still got the energy in their voices, I want to get one of the Space Station players on the line. Arsenal is here to chat with me right now. How hyped are you guys? You just took down NRG. Like, let's be real. Like, how does that happen?
I feel like the first 2 weeks, like last season, the same thing happened. Like, we weren't playing like as good as we wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I feel like we just warmed up and we were able to take down a very good team. I'm so happy.
I know. Yeah, I gotta say, like that's what I said. No one would have thought that would happen, and it started off looking like NRG was gonna start to dominate. It was a shutout for you guys. Didn't even get a goal. How do you bounce back from that? Saying, no, boys, we got to stay in the game. We can still do this.
I feel like the ways we got scored on, it wasn't like much we could do. Like they were playing really good.
Mm-hmm.
So like we talked it over and we decided to play our game instead of their game, and we ended up winning.
So now with NRG out of the way, who's the next hardest for you guys? Who do you think is going to make that next wall for you guys to get a win off him?
100% G2. Like they're looking like really good, and especially in like scrims and stuff, it's always close matches and it's really fun playing against them. So yeah, G2.
Now, one thing we noticed too is AXB seems to be getting up on offense a lot more. Was that a planned thing for you guys? Did you say, hey, AXB, get up there, score some goals for us? Did it just kind of naturally happen?
no, we told that man go for the ball and we'll win. And yeah, it worked.
That is a very good strat. To send the guy you know can score and then he scores. It's good to see it come through. But just talk about the season for you guys. You know how demoralizing it. You guys had like. Not the worst start to the season, going 1-1 in the first 2 weeks, but it didn't seem to be what everyone expected. Everyone had you at that number 2 team. You know, how do you bounce back from that? And maybe is it just a testament to Sonics being really good?
Yeah, Sonics doesn't play like any team like I've really played before in RLCS.
Okay.
They play like weird play style, and I don't know, they don't really go for the ball as much as like other teams like G2 and NRG. So it kind of like threw us off. And yeah, they were just able to like take it slow. They're a good team though. It just threw us off like the first weeks.
Okay, well, again, I just got to say congratulations on the win, Arsenal. It was fantastic to watch. We're all hyped over here, and I'm sure you guys are, but I'm going to let you go celebrate that win. Thanks for chatting.
Thank you.
Arsenal, that's what I said. I knew the comms would be popping off. You can tell he's like.
He's always got good gestures too. Like even the new photos that we have on all the walls over here.
Yeah,
we have one of
there.
Arsenal over there.
He's flexing. He's flexing. He's got the arm up.
We see it every day.
So I don't know who's happier though, him or me, because I've been wrong for 2 weeks straight, but I finally got something right.
Vindication for today.
Space Station beats Energy. I might have said in a video that Energy would win, but don't worry about that. I said Space Station here. It's fantastic to see.
Now, for Space Station going forward, do you see this being that jump back up? You know, he's like, again, it feels like they were off, but they really weren't. They went 1-1. It was just Sonics that beat them. So, you know, I feel like maybe they are still in that good spot to be in second place.
Gibbs already said it once, and it's so true. Even you look over in Europe, the RLCS talent that the players that are in here playing, they are so close now. They're every single week is a battle. So I don't think we're going to see an undefeated team for a long time anymore. G2 is still undefeated at the moment in North America, but it's probably not going to last that long with how good all these teams are. You have to be perfect week in and week out, which is even more difficult to do now that there's more teams. So, I think Space Station, NRG, we can both expect to see those teams at the World Championship, in my opinion. But it could be a battle for them to get there.
On the topic of G2, though, we do have to get to our player of the day, and I think that narrows it down since there was one G2 player on the board. It's Rizzo. This man has stepped up. Everyone in the scene asked him to do so, and he is doing so with gusto.
Just big plays. So we only had 3 goals and no assists. Just the dribble plays, though, to capitalize versus Flight to win that huge game 3. We see one right here. Beautiful play, not around 1, but 2 players, and pinches it around the post. Then does it again when we go to overtime. Really clutch gameplay from him throughout today.
Yeah, Rizzo, the unsung hero. Gibbs, and you said unsung heroes don't get MVPs, but I guess they get player of the day.
They do when they do stuff like this. And this is not what we see from Rizzo normally. Normally this is a JNAPS or a Chicago, but Rizzo's really stepped it up these past 2 weeks.
And this is the thing throughout all seasons, too. I've just been saying, I still have questions. I have questions, and I don't have questions anymore. Rizzo is looking phenomenal. I'm super happy to see what he's playing right now because G2 can function at their top level right now. And people have said before, G2 at top level is probably one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
And it's just crazy. 3 goals again. And all 3 so important. Game 3 overtime, game 4 overtime, game 3 to tie it up as
clutch
well.
Goals, yep.
Just clutch plays from him. And again, he's not normally on the offensive side. He won't get these opportunities a lot, but he's making the most of them. It's great to see.
And Rizzo, that's just because Rizzo is a very smart player. He's a thinker. You see this on a few teams. You have players that are just thinkers. You think of like Violent Panda as well. Rizzo's one of those guys who will not take the obvious option. He will a lot of times surprise you by the moves that he takes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's apparent. A lot of times he's doing it with his plays where he's going for bumps, trying to get in people's way, and also getting unorthodox passes. But this time, he took up the mantle of clutch goal scorer. He made it happen. Not all goals are created equal. The ones he scored were massive for G2.
And now G2, 3-0. Only team left undefeated. So we'll see who can top them.
Well, that's the question. Who do we think could top them moving forward? G2, if they can keep this peak play style that they're playing at, can even NRG stand in the front at this point?
I think it's possible. They have a lot of tough series ahead, and I do feel like they probably won't go undefeated, but they are looking pretty strong for a top 2 finish. But again, it's so incredibly close. If you drop 2 games even, then you're starting to look at maybe a 4th place finish because of how close everyone is. So who knows?
Yeah.
Well, let's just take a look over at the results for today. We had a lot of exciting matches. I don't think anything was really a blowout today. No, it was just really close both ways. At least every team, even if they lost, got a series off their opponents.
Yeah, one thing that I want to look at is Cloud9, a big 3-1 win over Flight. They're still alive. They're only 1-2. A lot of teams are 2-1, so they're still in the running here. Teams like E United, though, I thought had a little bit of a disappointing day, but again, Space Station Gaming, plus Pittsburgh Knights. That Pittsburgh Knights win over Ghost, so big for morale for these guys, because we were talking about terrible roster moves, but it worked out beautifully for them.
I was worried that maybe we would have something stale, but it's getting exciting. The trajectory of the season is looking good.
And look at this, 3rd through 9th, by the way. 2-1, 1-2 for Rogue at 9th. So if Rogue would have beat Sonics, they would have been in 3rd. That's how close it is right now, so anyone's game.
I was going to say, any surprises there, James Bott? You were looking at it just with some thoughts, but it does seem all over the place.
I mean, you can't say that it's not surprising to see Sonics in 3rd place. They were the team that was expected to be 10th coming into this. Even Sathu said he was shocked that they were down there in 10th place. Now up there at number 3. That is one of the teams that I'm really excited to watch their story as the season progresses. But like you said, Gibbs, Rogue down there 1 and 2. Pretty much everyone 3 through 9 is right there. They are right there, and so this league play is going to start heating up the closer we get to the end. It's just going to continue like a pressure cooker to build up.
Those were pretty much final thoughts. We're going to ask you guys anyways. Just we've gotten 3 weeks down for North America. Before I walk over there, Gibbs, final thoughts on today.
Some quality gameplay. Like, I feel like for Ghost Gaming, a big loss against Pittsburgh Knights, but hold your heads high. Sure, you're 1 and 2, but I think Ghost Gaming is still looking like a top 4 team.
And James, any final words?
Just keep your nose to the grindstone. It's a long league play, and you can't afford to take a week off with how close it is up there.
And North America's not the only team, of course, with league play going on right now. Make sure you guys check out OCE. The Oceanic region is playing right now. You're going to want to watch what teams are doing well over there, as, of course, they will be having 2 teams at Worlds as well. But now it's time for me to walk over to the big screen and talk about North America next week. I'm expecting them to continue to surprise again. The same as today, we have a 6-series day. It's going to be a good long day of Rocket League. Don't want to miss it. But we also have more Rocket League tomorrow as we take a look at the EU schedule. EU, we're going to see if they can start solidifying some of those boards as well. Some really good games, again, especially with a lot of those 3 new teams coming in. We'll see if they can start getting some wins. Anyways, I'm Leauge Fex, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for some European Rocket League.
She does get it, puts it away, and Flight responds. Here against G2, but there's Chicago off the top rope. Double tap in, 1-0 G2. So Rizzo has a little bit of space, flips over one, and he picks out another off the hook and in. G2 tie the game.
I just want to say, awesome list, buddy.
I love it, James. Great stuff.
And an open net potentially.
Oh, Carrick actually got the touch. You what, nutty monster? You score when you want. I don't care. Oh my God.
As Reynolds now looks the bump on the miss, and it's gonna go in. The first touch now Reynolds with the pass back to AJ to shut up. Oh no! Miss actually touches it back in. Knights with all the opportunities. Here it goes. That one has to be in. Finally, they get him to bite. AXB beat Kenton to get the double tap. AXB sends us to game 5. And oh my goodness, a back and forth affair. And looking like they were completely outclassed, come flying back, put in another one, 5-1. SSG is taking this series home.